Almost every country with a deep, cold, freshwater lake has a story like this one. Something large, something unexplained, moving just beneath the surface. Today, 9 lake monsters from around the world, the sightings, the footage, and the reasons scientists still have not been able to rule them out. Number 9. Lake Akita, a volcanic caldera in southern Japan's Kagoshima prefecture, holds a mystery that surfaced in the late 20th century. On September 3, 1978, more than 20 people, including a local bus driver, reported a dark, humped creature crossing the water from completely different vantage points. Skeptics suggest these observers actually saw giant Japanese eels, which can grow up to 2 meters long in these waters. However, eyewitnesses insisted the moving form was far larger, estimated at over 5 meters. Because this case relies on strong witness testimony rather than clear physical media, it occupies the early stages of our investigation. How could so many people watch the exact same creature cross the lake, yet leave no definitive footage behind? Number 8. Lake Tahoe sits directly on the California and Nevada border, where the water drops to depths of over 1,600 feet. Long before modern settlements, Washoe tribal traditions spoke of a powerful water spirit dwelling in the deep. In the 1980s and the 1990s, this legend shifted into the modern era when scuba divers reported seeing a massive, dark, serpent-like shape navigating the depths. Tahoe is famous for its extreme water clarity, which allows sunlight to penetrate deep into the lake. While skeptics suggest this perfect transparency creates optical illusions and light refractions that easily trick the eye, divers insist they saw a solid, living animal. If the water is truly this clear, does it make Tessie easier to detect or simply easier to misinterpret? In 7th place, Lake Memphremagog straddles the border between Vermont and Quebec, harboring a legend known as Memphry. This mystery survives on sheer documentation rather than a single famous image. Reports of a serpentine creature date back to the 1800s, but the case gained structure in 1987. That year, researcher Jacques Boisvert founded the International Dracontology Society of Lake Memphremagog to track encounters. The society logged over 200 sightings, detailing multi-humped shapes moving through the cold water. Skeptics suggest witnesses are observing oversized lake trout or rare sturgeon migrating through the basin. Yet, the massive registry gives this case an institutional persistence that is hard to ignore. Does this extensive archive document a genuine biological mystery, or does it merely preserve a well-constructed legend? In 6th place, Lake Storsjön in Sweden houses a mystery with centuries of documentation and unprecedented official backing. Reports of the serpent-like Storsjoodjuret date back to a 1635 manuscript. By 1894, local sightings grew so persistent that King Oscar II personally funded a royal expedition to capture the creature, equipping hunters with specialized nets, though they returned empty-handed. The legend took a legal turn in 1986, when the local administrative board officially declared the unverified monster an endangered species, legally shielding it and its offspring from harm until the law was revoked in 2005. While skeptics suggest witnesses are merely seeing oversized European eels or floating glacial debris, the state's historical intervention is hard to dismiss. Why would a government establish strict legal protections for a creature that science has never proven to exist? In the 5th place, Lake Seljord in Norway shifts the mystery from old letters into modern technology. Local reports of a horse-headed, black-scaled serpent date back to 1750, prompting the local municipality to establish a standing cash reward for anyone who can present verifiable proof of the creature. But the case grew far more complex during scientific expeditions in the early 2000s. Researchers deploying side-scan sonar recorded anomalous large acoustic returns moving independently through the 70-meter basin. Skeptics argue these signals represent temperature layers or schools of fish, while others point out that giant European eels can reach lengths of over a meter. Yet, the persistent sonar targets remain unidentified in a lake that has never undergone environmental DNA sampling. If these machines are registering a massive living organism, what is actually navigating the dark Norwegian waters? In 4th place, Lake Erie houses the legend of Bessie, a serpentine mystery spanning the border between Ohio and Ontario. Reports of this creature, also known as South Bay Bessie, stretch back to the 1800s, with a notable cluster of sightings emerging near Sandusky Bay, Ohio, in the 1990s. Eyewitnesses describe a massive, elongated shape swimming near the surface, prompting investigators to search for a biological explanation. The leading theories point to an unusually large sturgeon swimming these waters, or perhaps an escaped exotic reptile. Yet, despite decades of heavy commercial shipping, recreational boating, and environmental monitoring, no specimen has ever been caught and no conclusive footage has surfaced to settle the debate. If a giant fish explains the shape, what explains why the evidence still refuses to become definitive? Coming to the top three, Ogopogo of Lake Okanagan in British Columbia combines deep cultural history with one of the most famous film records in North America. Long before European settlers arrived, the Syilx First Nations held sacred traditions regarding Naha'ik, a powerful water spirit dwelling in the lake's 230-meter depths. This ancient spiritual respect shifted into modern cryptozoological obsession on August 12, 1968. When sawmill worker Art Folden noticed something unusual. He captured roughly 30 seconds of 16mm film showing a large, dark wake moving steadily across the calm water, estimated at nearly 40 feet long based on the surrounding shoreline trees. While skeptics argue the footage merely captures atypical wave behavior, boat wakes, or swimming beavers, the Folden film remains a highly cited piece of visual evidence in Canadian history. Why has this brief, silent clip continued to defy simple explanations for over half a century? In second place, Lake Champlain, bordering Vermont, New York, and Quebec, is home to Champ. Legends of a serpentine creature date back to the 1600s, with early accounts even attributed to explorer Samuel de Champlain. But the case changed forever on July 5, 1977, when vacationer Sandra Mancy captured what became the most famous still image in lake monster history. Her photograph depicts a dark, humpbacked silhouette rising from the water. Unlike many disputed images, this print underwent forensic analysis. Optical scientists at Arizona State University examined the photograph and found no evidence of tampering or manipulation. While critics argue the object could be a floating log, a wave crest, or a photographic artifact, the lack of digital alterations leaves the visual evidence completely intact. If the photograph is verified as an unaltered record of a real physical object, what was actually swimming near the surface that summer afternoon? And finally, in first place, Loch Ness combines the ultimate cultural phenomenon with the largest archive of analyzed evidence. While over 1,100 sightings are logged in the official register, the benchmark evidence remains aeronautical engineer Tim Dinsdale's 1960 film of a dark, humped shape generating a massive wake. The Royal Air Force's Joint Air Reconnaissance Intelligence Center analyzed the footage and concluded it showed an unidentified, apparently animate object rather than a boat. Skeptics point to a replicated environmental DNA study that detected absolutely no dinosaurian genetics, but did find a massive abundance of European eel DNA. Yet, if the most heavily scrutinized body of water on Earth still keeps its secrets, what is truly creating those massive, unresolved wakes? Across 9 legendary lakes, science and folklore remain locked in a perpetual stalemate, leaving us to wonder what still moves in the dark. Which of these 9 lake monsters do you find the most convincing? Subscribe for more investigations into the world's greatest unresolved mysteries.
Across these 9 lakes, a chilling pattern emerges. Despite modern technology, our deepest waters remain stubbornly silent to science. The mystery isn't what we found, but what continues to evade us. Which of these 9 cases do you find most convincing? Subscribe for more unsolved mysteries.